Hey, how you doing back there? You still alive? Most spares be talking my head up by now, but you, I'm afraid I'll get to 54th Street, say here we are, and there you ain't. I get wackos in here like you wouldn't believe. Present company excluded, naturally. Half of them belong in Bellevue. Hell, I'll drive them, man. My personal favorites, the ones that stand nice and polite at the curb and point their umbrellas. That's the type I love. They think they're in fucking England. I once pulled over for a guy in a wheelchair who had to compete for the cab with this Upper East Side type. Poor son of a bitch, fighting for his life with Miss Bergdorf Goodman. Believable, right? So I got out to help him. Not like some drivers I've seen with a fare is struggling with 100 bags, a couple of kids, one of them stupid carts, you can never fold them up. And their driver's sitting inside whistling Dixie. I told him, listen, why don't you take the bus? You can wait nice and comfy in the wheelchair, then the bus hauls you up in that lift. No fuss, no muss. I gotta tell you something though. Those special seats they pull up on a bus for the people in wheelchairs, the other passengers, they don't want to say anything, but it annoys the bejesus out of them. You want to know why? Because they got to get up for somebody who's already sitting down. In my own opinion,
hey,
if you
is
got
there anything that I could say to prevent you from sharing this with me?
Okay, pal, okay. No need to get rough. Just making conversation.
Oh, God, please don't.
I'm sensing trouble here. Put it this way, you can tell me about it, and I'm all ears. Or I can steer without saying a word, and you can contemplate your wretched life till you get where you're going. Now, option one, you get to vent. And me, I get to work on my people skills. Option two, I try to remember where I put the shopping list the wife gave me, and you bottle up another day of hell on earth. Mario Bottiglieri, bartender on wheels, priest without dependents.
Josh, how you doing?
No, how you doing?
Truth?
You got something else to do?
Oh, God, you know, if you've never been a waiter before, don't. You have no idea what it's like. Restaurants are full of assholes who think that 40 bucks and a credit card make them King Von Shithead the Third. Like the other night, I introduced myself to this table of three. You know, management thinks it's real friendly, like anybody gives a damn. So I go up to them and I say, hi, my name is Josh, I'll be your waiter tonight. And this guy says to me, hi, my name is Harry, and this is my wife Norma, and that's our friend Claire. But that's much too complicated. So why don't I call you waiter, and you call me sir?
What did you say?
I said, go ahead, I don't give a shit.
They didn't fire you?
Oh, no. Strike one. You know, people think that serving means servant. I'm not a person. I'm a food bearer, a water boy. I'm not supposed to speak unless spoken to. 25 times a day, I have to recite the specials, none of which management ever offers me for dinner. And then when they ask me to repeat it, I have to start all over again with the same stupid happy face so they don't complain to management that I'm surly. Oh, you know, I even had this one bastard once who complained that I was too polite and that clearly I was being condescending. You know what the worst is? Having to pretend to be amused when they make jokes for my benefit. Like when these two guys came in, all lovey-dovey, twittering through the entire meal like George and Condoleezza. And when I go up to them and ask them, how do you like your coffee? The one guy says, I like my coffee the way I like my men. So I say, I'm sorry, we don't serve gay coffee.
Right, too.
Exactly. And I've had my tip removed by a jealous spouse. I've had fingers waggled in my face. I've been shouted at because we're out of the special. I've had my French corrected, or when they ask me to get a newspaper for them, for which they don't pay me. You know what the best is? Is when they ask me whether something on the menu is good. Like I'm going to say no, it sucks.
Don't tell me, pal. That's the service industry for you.
Oh, maybe, but is there something about me that begs for abuse?
No, it's not you. It's all about power. For 1 hour, they got it and you don't. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of salamis out there. They don't feel good unless somebody else is miserable. So don't take it so seriously, my friend. And remember one thing. 99% of what people say has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. Let me ask you something. How old are you?
35.
See? You'll get there. Believe me.
Oh, no, not in this job I won't. Today I had this Upper East Side bitch on the lunch shift today. Get this. She asked me to wipe down the chair before she can sit down, and then she asked me to wipe down the other chair so she can sit her purse on it. And then I bring her a clean menu.
One of them phobia types,
I
right?
don't know. I bring her fresh glass of water, new silverware, and then I remove the flowers because there was one brown leaf on it.
What did she order? Did you have to sterilize it?
Oh, no, I didn't get that far. She points to this rust stain on the edge of the napkin and says, "Isn't there someone whose job this is?" And I grab it from her hand. And I throw it in her face and I say, "Yeah, yours! Steer line 3.
So they fired you, right?
Oh, hell no. I quit.
Good for you, pal. Now we're getting somewhere. Quit while you're not ahead. So what now?
Catch up on my reading. Have the apartment repainted. Trip around the world.
No, come on, really.
Really? I don't know. Go to another restaurant, I guess. I don't know what else to do. You ever feel like that? I'm on automatic pilot. I haven't been flying this plane since I reached my cruising altitude. Nothing excites me.
You know what I would do if I was you?
All right?
I'd write a novel. In a couple of years, those same jerks that piss you off will be lining up at Barnes & Noble to pay $25 for the privilege.
A novel? I don't know anything about writing a novel.
That doesn't stop anybody else in this town. If I was to judge, based on my clientele, everybody and his pet tarantula in New York is writing a novel. And believe me, pal, from what I heard, they don't know any more than you do.
Yeah, but I don't have anything to write about.
No? Then what were you just telling me? It's like they say you write about what you know.
I guess I could write a novel about a waiter.
There you go. And you find out what happens at the end.
Oh, you're quite the philosopher, aren't you?
Just doing my job, pal. Just doing my job.
Which is driving a taxi, right?
You got it. All I do is I take you to your destination.
'66 in Madison, please.
66th and Madison. Shrink Road. You don't look like you need a shrink. But then again, Jeffrey Dahmer looked like a vegetarian, you know what I'm saying? So what are you, my friend? G-Man.
Ad man.
Oh, Ad-Man. Ad-Man, G-Man, what's the difference? You both got us by the long and the short, if you get my meaning. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just a cab driver. Who cares if I think you're so crap to people, which they don't even need it? Now you're a girl. That's the important thing. You got a girl, right? Nice looking fella like you. $5 says she wants to get married and you still want to play the field. Take one last look around, am I right? I'll tell you something, pal. You ain't never going to be as ready as she is, guaranteed. We rely on that, nobody can marry her. It's biology, pure and simple. In my day, you just closed your eyes and signed. I had my share of girls back there. I know what I'm talking about. One time this girl gets in, ooh, nice looking, a model maybe. Nice face, nice hair. Not too this, not too that. And great legs. Ooh, the legs this girl has. All of a sudden, she opens up this big box, like one of them old-fashioned hat boxes. She starts to change her clothes. Right there in the back seat, she's down to her underwear. It's not right. It looks good, but it's not right. You want to laugh? When I drop her off, I pick up this girl straight out of one of them Jimmy Stewart type towns. You know the type? Cute and sweet with the dimples and all. She kept humming this little tune, which I never heard it before. And what do you know? For days after that, all I hear on the radio was that same song. And it's not even a new one. You know, when they play it over and over again, you want to myrtleize somebody? That knocks me out the way that happens. It's like you're going on for years. You never heard of kiwi. Someone mentions this crazy fruit to you and bam, you're in the A&P. What do you see? Kiwi on sale. That kills me. Hey, it's okay, pal. You want to shut up. It's all right with me. To be honest with you, I'd appreciate it. No offense. The noise already drives me crazy. The banging and the clanging. Car alarms, ambulances, some idiot screaming at the top of his lungs. Those fucking plates they got in the streets. You don't know what they're fixing. Day in and day out. Kaboom, doom, doom. Kaboom, doom, doom. Did I mention the garbage? Everyone says there's no jobs, right? You could put 2 million people on the street with brooms right now. They'd be sweeping for the next 25 years. And my mother would find a spot or two that they missed.
I know I shouldn't look. Invading other people's apartments for a glimpse of thigh, under things caught on a chair, the quilt slipping down a sleeper's ass, bits and pieces, half pictures from a stolen life. I swear, before her, I never did this. Even at 15, when I should have been eager and burning, and my would-be lover, trembling with need, pleaded, "Ernest, explore me, please." I hesitated, petrified of so easily sounding her body, or worse, doing it badly. No, believe me, I'm too diffident a soul to taste forbidden fruit. But you have to understand how innocently it starts. Simply observing the evening sky, a blaze of scarlet, I notice a light go on in a bare window. Her window. She sits, her back to me. Shoulder blades arc like wings, and while I was telling myself to stop right there, she picks up a brush, raises it to her hair, the robe falls open, and in the mirror I see her breasts, big and full, and firm, long, dark nipples pointing toward the glass where they double themselves and point back to her, to me. Oh, I watch her brush, head drop back, breast rising with each stroke, and I am engulfed in a surge of sweet torture. That flesh, oh my God, that flesh, tight orbs, begging to be touched, to be taken in hand by one whose exquisite presence speaks to your skin. Oh, and I seize the night, following the silent swish of fabric, leaning into darkness like someone insane. I spread my fingers against the glass, glued to the pane, as if longing to make it so. I'm flushed, on fire, sweat breaks out like yearning. I've even thought about trying to get her name. But what would I do if I found her? Tell her that twilight's flux sends me reeling, that those breasts are the altar at which I sacrifice sleep. I kneel before the dusk, lost, broken, ooh, undone, wrapped in those angel-bitten breasts, ooh, shaking with hope, killed by desire, yes, oh, but yes, ooh.
I love this dress. I hate this dress. My mother bought it at a thrift shop. She called it a date dress. Yeah, one date dress, hold the date. If it weren't for him, I still wouldn't have one. Look at it. Wilted, used, tired. The party after the party's over, but somebody else picked. How could I have ever thought it beautiful? Or me? Oh, I can't dance. So I served punch. I'm wearing a name tag that says Elaine, Senior Refreshment Hostess. Behind a table draped with crepe paper, I frame dancers backed by skylines, a camera preparing for scrap. Dancers pass through me, wringing my fragile substance like a tuning fork. Painful and precise. Couples in rapture, the crackle of crinoline. Laughter like a million tiny rumors. Measured suffering dripping into my veins from a vial of shame. I can't let those see me cry. I face the enemy in my homemade curls. All right. No enemy. No words, no gauntlet, no blood spilled. I am a disturbance, a ruffle on the skin, a ghost at a prom that I cannot attend in the flesh. No, not a ghost. Not even that unbridled state of personhood. I fall into sorrow like a private road. How I long for home, books in which to dream, my bedroom a filter, the world in candlelight, not spotlight laying bare every sag, every secret my heart keeps shuttered. In the arms of an imagined lover, I warm my body like an all-over kiss. It's better than standing at the wall. Not a flower, no, hardly. I am invisible. The wall itself. An assumption that holds up the house. I don't think he needs a blanket. Really, it's too much.
Say goodbye to Mommy, little man. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Good night, little man. Good
Hey, lady.
night. Oh, 78th between First and York.
You got it.
Good night. Good night.
Your grandson,
Oh no, he's a little boy I babysit.
off the premises?
Oh yes. I keep all of my little boys and girls at my house until their parents come home. And this little one's mommy is coming home in a week, isn't she? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Are you going to miss Auntie Agnes when Mommy comes home? Are you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I guess you get pretty attached to the kids, you know, like they say over the long term.
Oh, he's a good boy. Oh, I love all of my children. Auntie Agnes couldn't pick a favorite, could she? No, she couldn't. Well, there's Seymour. He's the oldest. Oh, what a feisty thing he is. Gets into everything. Oh, closets and boxes, kitchen cabinets. He's figured out a way to open them all. Oh, Seymour, he's a tip. I have to chase him all around the apartment. And that little boy can run, let me tell you, he can run. Oh, he's the dickens. But I couldn't stay mad at him, could I? No, I couldn't. Then there's Betsy and Christopher, their brother and sister. Fight from the moment I bring them home to the moment I take them back. With their parents, they're little angels, but get them alone and all hell breaks loose. They swipe at each other every chance they get. Every chance they get. My sister Hope and I used to fight like the devil too when we were kids. Of course, Hope is older and bigger, so that meant mostly she beating me to a pulp. Oh, but that's the way it is with siblings, isn't it?
Gee, I don't know.
Whenever take it. Oh, she was mammoth, a big-boned girl. I would try and fight her, but she would come at me like an enormous smiling doll, bribing me to give up what was mine by promising me something better. And when I wouldn't give in, Hope beat me until I let go. When Mother came home, Hope got it, because Mother said Hope should know better because she's older and she should pick on someone her own size. By the time she was 13, Hope had grown out of large and then extra large. So Mother had to take her to the chubby department to buy clothes that looked like body bags. Mother and I would sit outside the fitting room. Hope would never let anyone go inside. I could hear her sniffling in there. One Saturday before Thanksgiving, Hope came out in a dark brown dress with huge white polka dots and long sleeves, lots of pleats. Oh, I would have felt sorry for her, but all I could think of sitting there was how she was going to beat me up when we got home. So I just shut my mouth and looked at the ground, swung my legs, stared at the carpet. When Mother said, "Doesn't Hope look nice, Agnes?" I just nodded. I didn't look up. But that's all done now, isn't it? That's all done. It's funny, the only thing about Hope that's still big are her head and her hands. The rest of her has fallen down inside. Poor Hope. Never a nice day in her life. Hopeless Hope. Never one nice day.
My Aunt Carmela was like that. Big as a house and pissed off the boot. Never mind that her husband Luigi gave her everything she wanted, including a bigger house so she could feel smaller. When she ate her way up to the third house, Luigi, who was all of 5'11" and 140 pounds, died of a massive stroke. It was the only way he could get out of it. You know what I'm saying? There's no divorce for Italians. We stay together our whole miserable lives. Now you took it from your sister for years, right? You made the best of it. But they call a silk purse out of the sow's ear. And you turned out okay, right?
Well, Blue thinks so, don't you, Blue? Auntie Agnes is all right, isn't she? Yes, she is.
Blue? That's an unusual name for a child, isn't it? I mean, it sounds good on paper, but when he goes to school, the other kids are going to harass him.
School? He's not going to school. Why would he go to school? The only thing he needs to learn is to stay off the furniture and use the litter box.
What? That's a cat? You got a cat there? You babysit cats?
Certainly. What did you think I meant?
Pardon me, lady. Usually when people say children, they mean human beings.
Do they? Oh, I guess they do. Oh, no. The only people I see are my children's parents and my sister Hope. My sister Hope. My sister Hope.
Well, listen. Your children are darn lucky to have a nice aunt like you. You're a good auntie, aren't you? Yes, you are. Hey, Petra, how you doing? Give me a Coke, will you? Still on duty. I gotta take a neighbor to the supermarket in about an hour. Put a little rum in it. I got the fare from hell today. You know what I'm talking about? The crazies are out in full swing. Don't even ask me about the traffic. The traffic's a fucking nightmare. If they make jaywalking an Olympic event, New Yorkers will win, hands down. the time I get home, I'll be sounding like a top. It'll take me 5 hours to get to sleep, which then I have to get up and go to work.
When I was a little boy and I couldn't sleep, my father would tell me to close my eyes and plant the most beautiful garden I could imagine. First I put in the grass, then the flower beds, lantana and star jasmine. By the time I get to the palms, I was asleep in Eden. That's why I became a gardener.
In New York City.
No, Puerto Rico. Vieque, a small island off the coast. When I was young, it was untouched, you know? Only a few tourists knew about it. I worked for a man who owned a big house he rented out. You should have seen it. Bougainvillea draped the fence in a purple cape, and frangipani scented the air with ambrosia. When no one was there, I pretended it was all mine. The house on the hill, the garden reaching down to the beach, white as pearls, the breeze that blew away the heat like dust. Now, thanks to be here. But no, hey, take my word for it. The people who rented that house came for a week of sand and sun. They did not notice what Luis did. They thought trees made fruit by themselves. But even God needs help. Soil has to be turned and leaves plucked to pests. My land grew 7 varieties of mangoes, 3 of avocados and lemons that were heaven sent, all from the hand of Luis and God, of course. Now, this lady, oh, she was different. Right away, first time, she says hello to me while I'm pruning the lemon trees. So I offer her one to eat, and she looks at me like I'm loco. Aren't they sour, she says? Sour, I say. Not here. Here they are sweet, good for sucking. I cut one with my pocket knife, and the moment the juice touches her lips, she smiles in the way of a child. Wonder rises in her face like the moon. In the late afternoon, we pick mangoes. I show her which ones are ready. And she sits on the rock overlooking the beach, peeling back the outer leaves, almost like we are married. Oh, sure. Me too. I have a wife. What man doesn't, But my wife knows which mangoes to pick. So what's the use of me, huh? To tell you the truth, I got pleasure from watching this lady pull back the skin, and more when she smelled the flesh. Mi madre, what a fragrance! Oh, without her, the months were snails. The others pass me on the ground, don't say nothing like I am a stone. One April, 5 days before Easter, I am picking off caterpillars. And suddenly, what do I hear? Groaning of El Pilon in one of Raphael's broken down rentals? I mean, more the same. Gringos. Who they think they are? Okay. I keep working. Who cares about a gardener? And then I see her running up the hill. Louise, hey! She is shouting. And then we are shaking hands hard, and she teases me about the other timeshares. Two girls. Muy guapas. Very beautiful. Then I show Miss Lady the caterpillars. Bodies the color of emeralds and heads as yellow as the lemons. Must you kill them, Louise? She mourns. Oh, they are so beautiful, she says. Beautiful, see, I tell her. But no bueno. That's it. And what did you expect? Me and Miss Lady look deep into each other's eyes, and she decides to leave her high-paying job in New York and move to an island to marry a gardener who divorces his wife to be with a woman whose name he doesn't even know.
It didn't sound that way when I was thinking about it. But what about the sucking and all?
She stayed 2 weeks as usual, then her and her friends went back to New York. I saw her once more before me and my wife moved to the Bronx.
You ever look her up?
You forget I am married. You forget I don't know her name.
If you knew her name. You still a gardener?
Yeah, Upper East Side. You know, big houses, small gardens, hyphenated names.
Not exactly a tropical paradise.
No. But in New York, there are seasons, and that is good. Never enough time to get used to anything. Only enough to hold on to what is yours for a moment. Just when summer wraps its arms around you, autumn pulls you toward winter so your heart can sleep away its longing.
But then, there's spring.
Oh yes, there's always spring.
Oh, hi there. I'm Polly from down the street, the welcome lady. I brought you some pies, our little the kids will be expecting something the minute they bang through the doors. Did you know in Europe they feed kids bread and fruit after school? Oh, that'd never work in our house. Jennifer isn't eating bread because of the calories. Cake doesn't count, don't ask me why. And I can just see Billy's face if I put a peach in front of him. Teenagers have a way of sneering that just makes you want to knock their socks off. Oh, not that I don't love my kids, but honestly, right now I don't like them very much. Well, I guess that's a sin, isn't it? Probably stoned me in the olden days. Or was that for adultery? You know, we read this book in high school, The Scarlet Letter, about this woman who had an affair. The townspeople made her wear a big red A for adulteress. Miss Joyce said that she was a fallen woman, and I was sitting there, Miss Goody Two-Shoes, thinking, I'll do anything to fall from grace. Maybe one day I'll forget to make the bands, and my husband Ed will make me wear a big red S for slob the whole darn week. I read in the newspaper this woman from New Jersey just refused to cook or clean or wash dishes or food shop for an entire week. She just sat in her family room reading magazines next to a huge sign that said, "On strike, get it yourself." Oh, see, I guess I should give you these. Well, I asked Ed what he would do if I went on strike, and he said, "What the hell are you talking about? You have everything you want." I said, "How do you know what I want when I don't know what I want?" And he said he knows me better than I know myself. Oh, I wish I could get on one of those shows where the audience makes this woman pour her heart out, and then they drag her family up on stage all sour, and she tells them everything she's been wanting to say to them for years. And the kids will be just sitting up there like deer in the headlights while I'm raining on their parade, and you can see them thinking that I hate them, which I don't, and not really.
Hey, Polly, you ready? Food City away.
Hey, Mario! Oh, just hold on. Oh, that's my next door neighbor, Mr. Battleary. Oh, you're gonna love him. Everybody does. He drives a cab. He takes me to the supermarket every Wednesday. Mario, just hold on. I read that this poet, Sylvia Plath, killed herself after weeks of peeling potatoes. Why do I ever understand that? But I would peel a lifetime of potatoes if I could write. Love set you going like a fat gold watch. Well, I don't even have a watch. I have clocks. 6:30, make breakfast, kids up. 7 o'clock, kids eat breakfast, Ed up. 7:30, kids out, Ed eats breakfast. 8 o'clock, Ed eats breakfast and then gets out, and well, no one talks to me unless it's, "Mom, is there any more milk?" Or "Can you take these to the dry cleaner, dear? That's talking." I once found a half a moldy cheese sandwich shut in my broom closet. That's my life in a flash. Sometimes while I'm waiting for the kitchen floor to dry, I daydream. Not night dreaming, that's different. That's about things you don't want or things you can't have, or all the rotten things are going to happen to you no matter what you do. No, at night I dream about being late for the PTA meeting and the only seat is in the front row, and when I look down, I'm in my ratty robe and my slippers. Or I dream about a runaway shopping cart, or burning a 30-pound Christmas turkey. No, in daydreams, I'm the director, and I'm married to George Clooney. George is talking to People magazine about how he couldn't have done it without me, and he'd kill himself if I ever left him. And he has this adorable sheepish look on his face that says, "What did I do to deserve this?" Then the timer goes off and I'm in my flip-flops and George is fading like a ghost. Oh, I don't usually rattle on like this, although that's what people who talk too much always say. My mama was a wealthy lady, and one time she made some pies for this new family, and she was talking and talking, and we were trying to ask her what to do with these pie plates when they were done with them. "Well, don't you worry about those pie plates. They belong to the welcome committee. You can return them whenever you get around to it. I'm always home." Mario!
God damn it, this place is a fucking lunatic asylum. Give me the Bloomingdale's before I shoot somebody.
You want to talk about it?
Who are you, my shrink?
Hey, you can spend $100 and have somebody say, I'm only charging you $6, plus you get a couple of comments into the bargain.
All I'm trying to do is spend an hour at Bloomingdale's on my only day off. Is that a small request or what? I'm not 30 seconds on the subway when this guy pops up and announces he's from another planet and he needs contributions to get back to the mothership. He's all up on me about universal love and intergalactic brotherhood. And then he whips out this humongous saxophone and starts playing this interplanetary shit that makes Sun Ra sound like KG. I tell him if he doesn't get the hell out of my face, I was going to call the transit police and they could give him a personal escort to Neptune. My idea of love is I give you your space and you get the fuck out of my life. So I move to the next car, thinking, okay. And I take out the book I've been trying to read for the last 2 months. I'm 3 pages into it when I look up to see where we are. And what do I see? Not a foot in front of me. A guy in a 3-piece suit with his dick hanging out. All I want is an hour at Bloomingdale's. And I get locked up with Captain Video and Joey Buttafuoco.
I don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. I could be somewhere if I wanted. I could be home in my mansion, but they're cleaning it today. It's big, yes, it's big. Rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms. Full of rooms. Bigger than hers. Some of them I never even seen. People are in them. I don't know who. People like husband and wives, that's who. Business associates. You don't believe me? You calling me a liar? You ask him. You ask him. You ask him. Robert J. Johnson, president of Consolidated Edison. See, that's him right here. That's him. He's got his picture in the paper. He's famous. You probably know him. Robert J. Johnson, president of Consolidated Edison. You could come visit us if you like. He won't mind. Shh, he lets me do what I want. Only he don't know I'm here. He would kill me! Subway's no place for a lady. No place for a lady. I don't have to take it. I don't have to take it. I take it for the fun. Just for the fun. Sometimes I ride it all night. I ride it all night. I don't have to sleep here though. Though sometimes I see people sleeping all night with the blanket over their head because they never turn off the lights. Shh, shh, shh. Oh, this one time, the lady, she gave me a sandwich, but I don't have to take it. I don't have to smile at her, not while I'm eating. Not while I'm eating. I eat half. Save the other half for the rat supper. They gotta eat garbage, but I don't. No, I got a nice clean sandwich waiting for me in my mansion. It's clean. You can eat off the floors. It's squeaky clean. Someone cleans it. Someone sweeps it. I don't know who. I don't know. Someone my husband wants. I don't know who. But sometimes I like to sweep the subway. Just my little spot. Just my little spot. Sometimes I sweep just a little bit more, just a little bit more. I carry a broom, see? Shh, 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 shh. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? You're looking at this rib! This rib! Oh, this is not my good coat! Not my good coat! You don't know who I am. You don't know who I am! Oh! I used to be a queen once! A queen in a castle! With rocks and ponds! People used to come over the gangplank to see me until my husband, Robert J. Johnson, president of Consolidated Edison, had me locked away
What's your name? I said, what is your fucking name?
Fleur. For flower.
Well, Miss Flower, listen up. I don't know where you get the idea that it's okay to wave a gun at me. Don't you know you can kill somebody with that thing? They can bring you up on a weapons charge, and I'll be standing in line right behind the cops. Now, you may be getting over on these folks, but when you come up to me, you're trifling with reality. Now, give me the gun before I slap the shit out of you. Who the hell do you think you are? You sit in here, stinking up 3 seats. You bogart other people out of their hard-earned money. You're waving a piece and you're running some tired-ass homeless act. There's not a thing in the world that you're responsible for, but you have the nerve to bitch about your life. Join the fucking world! I got 2 jobs. Do you hear me? 2 jobs! You think I like it? You think I want to work 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4 hours on Saturday? Oh, but you wouldn't know about that, would you? You sleep all day, resting on your laurels, right? Oh, excuse me, except when you wake up to shoot people. You know why you piss me off? Because we're played out. Because the IRS has put liens on our accounts for a lousy $3,000. Because after paying the rent, the phone bill, the gas bill, and the 1 credit card with a lousy $1,000 limit, down to tuna fish. Because I can't even afford a chicken wing. I went to the High School of Performing Arts, Miss Flower. They told me I had talent. They told me I had poise. Do you hear me singing? No. You hear me working for a company that makes pantyhose. Pantyhose by day and worms and poles by night. And what do I get for it? A moment's peace? No! I get attacked on the fucking subway by some no-job, no-manners, foul-smelling, gun-packing maniac who thinks she's gonna take my fucking life. Well, here's a newsflash for you. The IRS, my landlord, and these have already beat you to it. There ain't shit for you to get. Now, if you want to ride the subway day and night because your sorry ass is too lazy to get a job, fine. But don't come up in my face about it. Don't you say even 1 word to me. Because the way I feel right now, I'm likely to use this gun on you. Great. Tears. You think I don't feel like crying? I could give you 10 reasons. So I'm not going to be on Broadway. So what? Come Sunday night, if I can drag myself from the dead, I hit the piano bar on the corner where there are 50 people waiting to hear me sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And in that moment, you can't tell me I'm not Patti LaBelle. Look, the only difference between you and me is you threw in the towel and you smell like shit. Now, if you hit the showers and pitch that gun routine and lose that fashion statement you're sitting there, you might just have yourself a life. Personally, I'd go for cleaning woman. You're already up in here talking about you sweep this and you sweep that. You could sweep and get paid for it. You could haul your bag of tricks all around and mop up all 5 boroughs and talk to yourself to a kingdom come. Oh, now don't give me that shit. Sit up. Shoulders back. Head up. Now smile. No, smile. You look like you have gas. Congratulations, Miss Flower. By the way, my name is Chantal. Or Song.
Sweetheart, you just have no idea. First thing I do, French twist. Wind up these tresses snug as a chambered nautilus, like the ones I picked up Southern Plage last summer. I coil and curl these long, glossy strands into a firm caress, hugging my head like my man's pearly black embrace. Oh, excuse me why, but I got to look tight. Oh, know what I'm talking about. When I got that locked up, I lay out the maquillage, the arts of war in full battle array. I cream on that base till I hush up every little imperfection the Lord gave me just to keep me in line. Ooh, picture it. These lids in lapis moonbeam with a sweep of spun satin bronze right up to the eyebrow. Oh, child, I get chills just thinking about it. Then a little mascara. Listen, I want lashes, not rakes. Lancome, honey, not Home Depot. Ow! Watch it, baby cakes. These hands have a date tonight. Ooh! I got this new blush, Head of Sunset, and I streak that up in an arc. Carve me some cheekbones, make Nefertiti jealous, you hear me? Then I turn out my lips like two purple plums, generous and juicy like something you just got to eat. Then a hint of powder, and I mean a hint. Girl, I'm going for the perfect blend. Every stroke in harmony, every shade licking its neighbor. Check it out, they're gonna remember this face, my petite. And if you think the shit is killing now, we ain't even got to my clothes yet. Magenta harem pants, Not soft pink, not carnation, not dusty rose. Okay, you see it? These hips in billowy magenta, cascading toward my ankles just like Niagara. Ooh, we're talking suave. Ooh, comprenez-vous? Oh, my mama didn't raise no girls, angel baby, but by the time this piece de resistance hits the street, ooh, Marilyn Monroe gonna look like Abraham Lincoln. Ooh, free me, honey. Ain't you scared of that? Ooh, pay attention now. Cause I got a white feather boa for your ass. See me wrapped in fairy dust. The frost of morning, the gossamer of cotton candy. Oh, stop me, honey, before I scare myself. Oh, but Lord, these ain't even got started yet. Violet shoes, the kind that take you anywhere but home. Move over, Dorothy. Oh, these are the slippers of Miss Cherie, the footwear of fantasy. Heels so high, they're tossing insolent kisses to the ground. Oh, let's face it, Sugar Pie, this is beyond footwear. We're talking hope for a better world here. Choose the grand wishes. Know the secret paths of your heart. Ooh, wait now. A hat like a small canoe. A sleek bow, capsized on my forehead. Après-moi, Lady Luge. Oh, you know I had to ask. A silk starburst of orchid sweet meat, because I'm peeping Brazilian rainforest. Oh, long, damp afternoon soaked in scents more fragrant than the perfume counter in Saks. Ooh, a touch of plumage, and you can hear the call of birds. Hold on now. A beaded bag, the luster of quartz and the color of night, just like me, sugar. Me in miniature, that is. Wrapped to the size of a small sin, tiny but, oh my, plenty of room for a lipstick and a spell. Oh, you should see me at rush hour. As soon as that subway fills up with Wall Street for days, I step in where no man has gone before. Ooh. Ooh. You know they're not ready when those doors part and they see Miss Thing bringing wet dreams to their dry little world. I stand in the middle of the car. Oh, you know I do. One Clarice Snell hand wrapped around that pole like the Statue of Liberty. Ooh, big as life and twice as fine. about as hard as a Weight Watcher in a candy store. As hard as a foot washing Baptist pass in an X-rated movie. Doesn't take long to get them hooked though. K Surprise. Whoa. Before you can say a hand in the cold, the jaws drop, the baby blues like, oh no, who are you gonna call? They lost, honey. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. Ooh. Hey, let them eat cock. Ooh, you think you're in shock? Honey, wake up and smell the mochaccino. I can feel it in their eyes, begging like there's no tomorrow. And I'm thinking, drink up, children, before the desert sets in. Get real, people! It's push in the bush! What a girl has to do to get a cab in this town! Oh!
Where to, miss? Sir. Whatever.
Oh, God, there's no cooler in here. Oh, I hope this doesn't ruin my makeup. Ooh!
I'd be more worried about 5 o'clock shadow.
Save your breath, honey. I've heard it all. La dressage, please. Honey, could you move the mirror so I can check my coiffure?
No mirror, what are you kidding me? Let me ask you something. Do you ever drive?
Oh, no, honey. I'm always driven.
Why do I ask?
And honey, call me La Denise.
La Denise.
Yes, baby cakes. I gave it that little French twist. Oh, pull over.
Pull over, we're not there yet.
Pull over! Over here, cowboy. This is your cab.
I can't pick up another fare, I'm sorry.
You can if I say so. Remember, Dollface, the customer is always right. Over here, honey.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Gee, it sure is hard to get a cab on a Saturday night.
Ooh, tell me about it. I practically had to kill for this one.
Well, where to, cowboy, unless you're going to La Dressage with Geraldine over here.
Well, now, law dressage, that's a...
Yeah, you got it. Our friend likes being a girl, but she's packing a 6-shooter. You know what I mean.
Well, just take the destination and drive. He doesn't care about those pesky little details, do you, honey?
Well, no, I sure don't. Ma'am, sir, listen, I want to go to Arthur's on Grove Street off Sheridan Square.
At least you're going in the same direction, so to speak.
Ooh, so where are you from, Marshall Dillon?
My name's Jimbo. Originally from Crested Butte, Colorado. I've been working in New York City as a carpenter for 30 years now.
30 years, and you look so young.
Oh, well, must just be the clean living. Ma'am?
You ought to try it sometime.
So what made you leave Dodge for big, bad New York City?
Well, sir, I'll tell you what. It was the spring of '75, and I was ranching. And boy, howdy, I'll admit it, I rode from sunup to sundown. All I knew was feeding livestock, fixing fences. Now, every once in a while, we had to round up a couple of dumbest animals ever after cows and cow pokes. The dogs, that pretty good. Now, best part of the day was breakfast at 6:30. Well, after 2 hours of chores, steaks and chops and home fries, green beans, eggs, any way you want it, 2 kinds of pie, and plenty of coffee goes down mighty fine. Now, come Saturday night, I took a bath, whether I needed it or not. I put on my Sunday go-to-meeting Stetson, and I headed into town with the other hands to get drunk at the Lucky Horseshoe. And oh, the girls, we had the snowball's chance in hell again.
Oh, your luck just changed, cowboys.
Now, one noon out in the range, I sat down to eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwich after hauling a cow out of a ditch. And I suddenly took a notion, there's got to be more to life than poking cattle, fixing fences, and a drunk on a Saturday night. And once I got that into my craw, there wasn't no hope for it. Now, I took my sack and I got onto Amtrak. Now, I had $200, no lodging, no prospects, no waiting kin.
Are you for real?
Oh, really? No hemorrhoids, honey?
I know. Whenever I tell New Yorkers this, they always look at me like I'm the first fool they ever laid eyes on. But, like my gramps used to say, God protects the innocent and the small children, and we doggy. I was a little bit of both. I was going to New York come hell or high water. I wanted the Empire State Building, Times Square, Central Park. I wanted martinis, champagne, and fine ladies trailing me.
Ooh, look no further, Marshall. Miss Kitty is here.
New York, it's a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down.
Now, on my last day in Crested Butte, I envisioned my arrival at Grand Central, which I had likened to a cavern with thousands of commuters jamming its jaws. And I was going to stand under that clock, you know, the one they always show in the old movies, right at the heart that fed the nation, the world.
Hate to bust your bubble, cowboy. That was Penn Station you was heading for.
Yeah, but see, now I had no notion of that at the time. Past the Indiana Steel Mill, past the flat fields of Ohio, past Main Street and Maple, and every small town who lay at the head of the tracks. I dozed in the half-light of fancy until just after noon. And suddenly I woke as if lightning had struck smack dab in front of me. And there, looming big and bold, New York beckoned like the Emerald City. And I took my sack and my stupid grin. I let the crowds push me on the street. And I knew what to do. I raised up my hand to hail a taxi, just like I'd done 1,000,000 times in my dreams.
Ooh, go on with your bad self.
And I told the driver, take me to a good, cheap hotel.
You're kidding, right?
No. The driver looks at me. He looks at me in the rearview mirror and says, a good, cheap hotel, huh? And boy, howdy, I couldn't tell you what he was thinking at that moment.
I can tell you what he was thinking. He was thinking he picked up the fare from fucking Mars.
Ooh, language.
And then he wraps his arms around that steering wheel, scans the streets. Good, cheap hotel, he repeats. Shakes his head, puts it in gear, and I settle against the seat like a snake on a warm rock. Ooh, hey, who'd have thunk it? The checker's bouncing from pothole to pothole, jogging my innards. When it suddenly dawns on me, take me, I say, to Greenwich Village. Now, the first place looked harmless enough.
Ooh, especially to a young cowboy fresh from the peaceable kingdom.
The driver turns off the meter, gets out, and I say, how much am I supposed to tip you? And this time he turns right straight against the seat. Now, I think he may have sighed.
Count on it.
He said, listen, buddy, forget the tip and don't get out yet. But heck, it was just as well. I was so excited. I wouldn't have been able to tell a bunkhouse from a whorehouse. I was happier than a hog with a bucket of slop. The wildlife in Greenwich Village was as wild and as free as anything in Crested Butte.
honey, you better believe it. National Geographic has nothing on la dressage.
Now, the driver disappears and comes back a few moments later. He says, buddy, you can't stay here. And I didn't know it at the time. He never turned on that meter again. Well, we must have stopped at 50 places if we stopped at one. And the cabbage even that we do too. Now, it was nearly 2 hours before we come to the Hotel Earl. Again, the driver disappears. And this time, he emerges moments later, and he's got his arms raised up over his head like one of those generals from Quo Vadis. This did, he repeats. And he yanks open the door, shakes my hand. Buddy, you're going to be all right here. All right. And I take off my Stetson, and I stepped out, a new man, and right there on the sidewalk, hotel girl went shy, cute and cuddly like a just met cousin. And, oh, I don't remember saying much after that. Ha. But I do remember thinking, what a great place New York is, and really, really smiling. But you know, like my gramps used to say, you reap what you sow. And I'm taking out my wallet, ready to pay any price, knowing all the money in the world cannot buy this. When the cabbie touches my arm and says, buddy, this one's on me.
Oh, what a delightful tale, Marshall. Ooh, it is. It just goes to show you that people will be nice to you if you're nice to them.
Tell that to the two tourists who got shot last week. We're trying to return a wallet to some imbecile who dropped it on the sidewalk.
Oh, thank God. For a second there, I thought we might be in danger of a moment of unfettered happiness.
Larger size, Your Highness.
Whew. Well, take care of yourself, Marshal. And remember, always close the barn door. And don't forget to wear your badge.
Okay, I promise I won't.
As for you, you're not bad for a lower class, undereducated, provincial little hetero.
Thank you, Princess. You're all hot.
Oh. Whew. So, no comment from my cab story?
What do you want me to say? Gosh, gee, that was heartwarming? Guy was an idiot. You know how much money he lost in those 2 hours? Not to mention the yelling he must have heard from his wife.
You know, I never thought of it like that.
Oh, forget about it. Just give me what Lady Godiva gave me.
Oh, no, but you
Hey,
say...
you gotta be kidding me after a story like that. I couldn't take a nickel off you. Call it professional pride.
See, it really is true what they say.
No, it ain't. Now get out of here before I change my mind.
Oh no, not paying. Each step keen, acute, but certainly not paying. If I give voice to that, I'm a spool of thread unraveled at the slightest tug. Tempting, I admit, but not terribly useful, don't you see? To call this pain served me no better than ranting and railing against the heavens. No better than asking why me. There is an ancient African proverb that says, it's not what you call me, it's what I answer to. Oh, just fine, Mrs. Hampton, just fine. No, of course not pain. I gave up such terminology long ago. I call it meditation. 1 foot in front of the other, as the saying goes. I, of course, have to take such advice literally. For me, 1 foot in front of the other really is 1 foot in front of the other. It's a blessing, though. Oh, yes, it most certainly is. To get as much pleasure, say, from a walk between sink and stove as a stroll in the country, don't you see?
Ah, for me, Mr. Bill, I'd say to God, choose someone else.
Well, Sadie, my dear, I play the hand I'm dealt. The hand I'm dealt. And I live for my secret bliss. Dining every evening at 6 o'clock at the Waverly Inn. Haven't missed a night in 10 years. So I start getting dressed at 5 o'clock, even though the inn is just around the corner. After allowing enough time for the ensuing comedy, don't you see? Trousers caught on the table legs, socks on backwards.
Boy, poor man, without a child.
Oh my, yes. 2 weeks ago, I was doing battle with a new shirt and was under the illusion that I had triumphed when I realized that my right hand was blocked at the end of that long tunnel of sleeve. 1 pin missed. What to do, don't you see? For an ordinary man, this would have created no more than a momentary annoyance. But for me, this simple impasse was monumental. I tried reaching around the back with my free hand, but I couldn't quite get to the cuff. I tried pushing with the trapped hand, but that arm was twisted in such a way that I most certainly would have added a pulled muscle to my list of blessings. And I felt as if I'd been blessed enough already. Then it struck me that I was bound in a straitjacket of my own making, committing myself, as it were. Now that was funny, and I started to laugh. My shoulders were shaking, and even my imprisoned hand was jiggling in its trap. Well, I guess all that rocking and rolling must have shaken that pin loose, because suddenly my hand slipped through like a baby from its mother. Oh, pretty good today, Miss Trainer, pretty good. Thank you for asking. But that was a half hour right there. Oh, good half hour. Usually, I leave the apartment at 5:30. 20 minutes down the stairs, 10 minutes around the corner. And you might surmise I was late that evening. But my table was still waiting for me. First one on the right. The only one with a rose on it. A fresh pink rose. Oh, I love that place. No tourists. No one-nighters. No fanfare. Just locals. Maureen is my waitress. Lovely Irish girl. She always says to me, "Good evening, Mr. Bill. I don't know how you do it, sir. I don't know how you do it."
Smart girl. I don't know how you do it either.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll tell Maureen. Love over matter, my dear. Love over matter.
Well, love can't save you from the weather. Where's your umbrella? It's gonna rain, cats and dogs.
Can't carry one, don't you see? Well, sometimes I try. If it looks like rain, I hook it onto my belt. A bit awkward, but it works. Then it don't rain. Don't know what I'd do if I actually had to open it. On clear evenings, I'll leave without it. By the time I get to the street, it's pouring. Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. But that's how it is. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't.
You wanna talk troubles? Troubles? I can talk. Boy, there's here. I waited for the bus 40 days and 40 nights. 1 minute more at the bus stop, I was gonna die from the fumes. These lungs can hardly breathe in a daffodil. Never mind pollution. If there aren't enough seats on the bus, somebody's gonna have to get up. I gotta sit. Watch it, old lady coming through. Finally, I managed. One Sunday, Marty and I are back from the Catskills. And I decide to scrub the cellar steps. Don't ask me why. I was young and stupid, that's why. So, I'm on my knees scrubbing. No matter what I do, I can't get to cut the steps clean. I'm hearing Marty in the living room. "Sadie, boy, Sadie, what's with the steps? Where's my dinner?" There was a point in answering him. There was no point. So, I'm on my knees, scrubbing. And I thought of my mother, and her mother, and all the mothers rinsing and wringing, and then suddenly it made me think of the Morton salt box. With the picture of the girl carrying the salt box, with the picture of a girl carrying the salt box. I thought of all the good Jewish women over the centuries. Such cooking, cleaning, raising children you never saw. Their heads wrapped, their knuckles red, and all the men talked talk and politics. Dirty water was dripping on my sundress. I'm so anxious to clean for my husband, I don't even change clothes. From the waist to the hem, a line, like a slug. When he makes that silvery thread of God knows what it is. And then came the tears. I'm thinking, what if I fall? What would he miss? His cook? And I hear Marty's voice at the top of the stairs. "Sadie, what's with you? What's with the kneeling?" "I'm scrubbing the stairs," I tell him. "Scrubbing, but they won't get clean." "Sadie," Marty says, "look at me."
I know.
Marty was shaking his head with that crooked smile that made me fall in love with him. Sadie, he says, you'll never get the steps clean. I know, I say. I'm a lousy housekeeper, a lousy wife, a lousy. What lousy, says Marty. Lousy nothing. You still got your sunglasses on. I reached up to my face. Marty was right. How much sugar can you get? I couldn't make even a tragic figure. I was no Sarah Bernhardt. I was Sarah Hart-Burn. Sadie, Marty says, leave the pail and brush and come to me. And he was reaching his arms out. Mein Gott in Himmel. He was actually reaching his arms out just like on the day we were married. There was Marty by the Viennese table, in a tuxedo, excuse me, reaching his arm out like Fred asking Ginger to dance. I pick up my dress and I run to him so hard I nearly knock him out. Sadie, Marty says, what's with the sprint? You couldn't walk? I love you, Marty, I kept saying. I love you, I love you, I love you. So, I'm climbing the cellar stairs toward the light. And the light was Marty.
Kennedy Airport, and since it's rush hour, please take the beach.
Hey, hold it there. Any hack worth the salt knows the best route to the airport. Rush hour or any hour.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
Ah, forget about it. If I got offended by everyone who gave me directions to places which I already know how to get there, I'd be in a lousy mood all day. Going on vacation?
No, I'm going home. For good.
Can't take it, huh?
Oh, listen, after 3 years of temp jobs, working as a receptionist and being a super, hell no.
Oh, you're an actor.
No, an actor acts. What I do, did, is audition.
Hey, you gotta hang in there. Listen, all it takes is one big break, right? Look at that Sir Laurence Olivier. If he'd have given up, we would have never had all those great performances. Well, we would have never had him.
No, no way. Not me. I'm out of here. Not one more cattle call. Fuck that. For what? I'm too short. I'm too tall. I'm too old. Too young. They're looking for someone whose voice is lower, higher, someone who's done Ibsen before, something more Shakespearean, something less Malkovich. The boy next door with satanic overtones. Johnny Depp, but happy. Straight with an underpinning of gay. Me, but more me, less me, something between me and me. Jesus, shit almighty.
You're telling me in 3 years you never even got close?
Yeah, once. I read this ad in Variety, a call for an actor my age, my look. And I thought, what the hell? Another $10 down the drain, so I bought the script. And then I read it, and this guy was me. He was me all over. I mean, I could have told you what his favorite color was. Blue. His favorite movie, The Godfather 1 and 2. Favorite food, lasagna, shirt size, 1534. Asked me where he kept his glasses in his shoebox. I was going to nail it. I just knew it. And when I got out on the stage, my legs were, oh, God, they were steady. I wasn't even breaking a sweat because I knew I had it. And I read for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You know what that is? That's page minutes. Then the director says to me, he says, that was very good, but we're looking for someone who can really embrace the role. someone who's found his own voice, you're not quite inside the character. Not inside the character. I mean, what the fuck is that? What are you telling me, that I'm not inside myself? That I can't play me?
What did you say?
I said, let me try it again. And the bastard smiles and says, thank you, we'll call you Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth, the guy
No,
said
no,
he's
not
gonna call
Kenneth.
you.
My name is Kenneth. Kenneth is my little brother. Kenneth, oh God, what do I have to do now, Kenneth? Kenneth, who can never fail because he never did anything. I mean, how much can you fail in the first 5 years?
You mean,
Yeah. He was sick. Sick his whole short life. He didn't have to wait 60 years for his bones to turn brittle, his heart to begin to break. Death found him at birth and took him in his arms. Then when he got really bad, they kept him in a hospital. And you know, I wouldn't leave because I thought as long as I was with him, he wouldn't die. I thought as long as I spoke, he'd have to listen. If I sang, he'd have to sing too. If I watched him sleep, he couldn't let go. And all afternoon I read to him, holding his hands, stories about talking trees and choo-choo trees. Then he asked me if I would play with his. He asked me if I would play with his toys if he never went home. And I said, don't say it. And he said, promise, Kevin. And I said, promise. And when he had no more blood or breath, they kept him in an oxygen tank. And his skin, oh, looks so waxy and translucent, not real. He was so small, just like a little doll of plastic, still unwrapped. And I slipped my hand beneath the barrier between us, and his hand, his fingers grabbed mine, and his eyes flitted open like 2 little birds. And I wouldn't say anything because I was afraid that my words would betray my fear, my voice exposed my sorrow. And I wouldn't cry. He didn't need that. So I just sat there, smiling like the village idiot. His hands relaxed. And his eyes closed. And I could feel his name come up my throat, and I whispered, Kenneth. They didn't open. And I heard the walls crack. And I said, Kenneth, and he didn't move, and the ceiling fell in, and I shouted, Kenneth! And I could feel the room gave in, and the nurses pulling me away, and you tell me what kind of guy would take a 5-year-old? But I'm not Kenneth. With all the mean bastards walking the face of the earth, you tell me, what kind of God? But I'm not Kenneth. What kind of God? Well, murderers breathe free, but I'm not Kenneth. And you tell me, what kind of God would rapists live to 70 fucking years old? But I'm not Kenneth. I'm not Kenneth. Not Kenneth.
hey kid, come on, hold it there, hold it there. It's okay. You're you. You're nobody else, you're you. Here. Somebody who hasn't found his voice, you shout real good. Don't worry about your little brother. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. There wasn't a God Sister Joseph Michael would have invented him. God, oh, God is a funny thing. Everybody thinks they know God. God knows, God's will, thank God. Even the atheists, they know what God ain't. Me, I don't get into those type of questions. But you know what, kid, I got a couple of suspicions. Like when my Aunt Ida, who's the most long-winded person on earth, couldn't blow out one candle on her 80th birthday cake. She was blue when it went out. That was God. Or the time I took my niece up the Empire State Building. She's holding my hand so tight, she's afraid King Kong is going to get her. And I told her, look, there's no such thing as King Kong. And a guy in a gorilla suit, no kidding, taps me on the shoulder.
No.
That was God. Or those 2 magnolia trees they blown every spring on West 11th Street. Magnolia trees in Manhattan. It's crazy, huh? No, it's God. My cousin Angelo, he went to find God. Weekend retreat upstate. Don't ask me where, upstate. He was all fed up with the crowds and the pollution and fighting with about 10 people on the way to work. You're not even a block from your house. So he's going to go camping for God, alone. My cousin Angelo could hardly go to the bathroom by himself. But he's going to put up a tent and cook. His wife, Jessopina, standing at the door, crying her eyes out, like Angelo was going to go hang himself, which it wasn't far from the truth. But he packs up the car and he goes camping just like a real Americano. A tent, mess kit, couple of pots, dinty more beef stew, Coleman stove and his toothbrush. You want to know how stupid Angelo was? He didn't even take a book. Said he was going to commune with nature. This from a guy who jumps 10 feet if a tree branch touches him. Takes him the whole first day to get the tent up. Suffice it to say that that center pole kept collapsing. Angelo got his foot tangled up in the ropes, which hold the tent to the stakes, and the stakes won't stay in the ground because Angelo didn't take a hammer. I think you get the picture. A lot of thrashing and screaming on Angelo's part. Anyway, he finally gets something together with a bunch of rocks, and get this, a pair of jumper cables. Now he's got to cook. You ever use a Coleman stove? Takes 3 hours to heat up, then another 3 hours to cook some crap you would eat on a bed. So Angelo gets so pissed off, he starts kicking the stove, and he breaks off a piece, which was evidently pretty important, because that stove that was heating up for 3 hours cools down to freezing in 3 seconds. So he's got to eat his dinty more beef stew right out of the can, which would have been a lot easier if he had a can open. 6 o'clock at night, he's got the son of a bitch tent up. He's eating his dinner, so to speak. Now what's he going to do? He's stuck in the middle of nowhere with a half-assed tent and nobody to talk to. So he starts singing the old songs. Catari, Che la luna, O sola mia, and so on. Well, that kills a good 15 minutes. So then he starts this communing business. Stare at the sky. It's nice, blue. Look at the trees, pretty leaves. Smell the fresh air, it's filled with pollen. Observe the insect life as it sucks the blood right out of you. 6:45, he's got the tent up, he's eating his stew, he's sung the old songs, he's observed nature, and it's still 3 hours to bedtime. And it's only Friday, and this is a 3-day weekend. And you know Angelo, God forbid he admit he's wrong and go home that night. I said to him, I said, where were the other campers? And he tells me, oh, he picked an isolated spot for finding God. I said, what, is he missing? Jesus. Crazy, huh? Shut off from the rest of the world. In a tiny clearing, with nothing but the sound of your own breathing. At least I got a radio. So now Angelo is moping. And nobody can mope like Angelo. And he's begging God for the sound of Jessopina yelling, Santa Maria in Cielo, put your socks in the hamper. When this raccoon comes out of the bushes. And Angelo swears to God with those black rings around its eyes, it looks just like Katie La Polita when she goes out on Friday night. You following me here? Now, if I'm that raccoon, I'm taking one look at Angelo on that tent, and I'm running in the other direction. But no, it sits there staring, with those little gloved paws. So, Angelo tells the raccoon, you know, you look just like Katie La Polita when she goes out on Friday night. And the raccoon moves a foot closer. He swears to God. For some reason, this raccoon is taking a liking to Angelo. Every time he says something, the raccoon moves closer. So finally, the raccoon is leaning on a Coleman stove while Angelo tells it about Aunt Lucia's pineapple upside down cake. You can imagine what it looked like when those state troopers saw Angelo and the raccoon, which they had a report of a man missing from the local nut house fitting Angelo's description. And Angelo was trying to tell him he's not crazy, he's just lonely, and they should call Josefina right now and ask her if Katie La Polita doesn't look like a raccoon when she goes out on a Friday night. Huh? Jeez. Well, my Uncle Louie had to go get Angelo out of the nut house. And he wouldn't leave. Not until he finished a game of gin with a guy who hasn't spoken in 20 years. Right? Well, you know what, kid? It's too bad you're leaving. You know that? We got everything here. We got museums, parks, theaters, restaurants, everything. You'd be a genius if you saw everything there is in New York. Like the Circle Line. See all of Manhattan in 3 hours. Beautiful. But it's the people, right? Oh, you don't get people like this anywhere else, believe me. Some people say New Yorkers are rude. Nah, we just have our ways, that's all. It's like in California, they say, have a nice day. Here we say, fuck you. But after have a nice day, there's nothing else to talk about. Someone says, fuck you, you got a conversation going. I'm going to tell you a secret. You get a New Yorker to say more than 2 words to you, you got a friend for life. The wife tells me I talk too much. Mind my own business, she says. Mind my own business. But I tell her, listen. People need me. People need to talk. So what, right? I'm here, right? And I'm not going anywhere, right? Me, I got all the company I need. I swear to God. Hey, kid, in case you hadn't noticed, this is the airport. Hey, kid.